Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling.
Have you ever noticed how a single, quiet moment can suddenly become the loudest conversation on the internet? One soft smile, one late-night post, one image that feels almost too personal to be shared, and within minutes, everything changes. That is exactly what happened when Zhao Lusi uploaded what seemed like an ordinary selfie. No dramatic styling, no hidden caption, no obvious message, just a gentle expression, warm lighting, and a sense of calm that felt almost intimate. But then a question began to circulate, a quiet whisper that quickly turned into a storm. Was this photo truly just a casual moment, or was it meant for someone specific, perhaps Liu Yuning? No confirmation, no evidence, just a feeling that something might be hidden beneath the surface. And somehow that feeling was enough, because in today's digital world, it only takes a single spark for imagination to turn into a wildfire, and once it begins, it becomes almost impossible to ignore. At first glance, the image itself carried nothing unusual. A relaxed pose, natural beauty, soft surroundings, the kind of authenticity that fans have always admired. Zhao Lusi has built her image on these very moments, the ones that feel unfiltered, almost like a quiet message shared between friends, rather than a performance for millions. That is precisely why the reaction was so intense. Because when something feels personal, people don't just observe it, they connect to it, they interpret it, they assign meaning to it. Then came the timing. A detail so small it could easily be overlooked, yet powerful enough to reshape the entire narrative. Some viewers noticed that her post appeared to align with online activity, linked however loosely to Liu Yuning. There was no direct interaction, no visible exchange, nothing that could be confirmed. And yet the idea alone was enough to spark endless discussion. Threads began to appear, comments multiplied, and theories grew more detailed with each passing hour. What started as curiosity slowly transformed into conviction for some, while others remained cautious, questioning whether anything meaningful had actually occurred. This is where the story becomes less about two individuals and more about the environment surrounding them. In the world of modern entertainment, especially within highly engaged fan communities, emotions often move faster than facts. A glance can become a signal. A coincidence can become a connection. And silence can be interpreted in countless different ways. It is not because people want to misunderstand, but because they care deeply. That emotional investment creates a space where imagination feels almost as real as evidence. For many fans, Zhao Lusi represents more than just an actress. She feels approachable, genuine, someone who shares moments that seem unguarded and sincere. That sense of closeness builds a bond that goes beyond admiration. It becomes something more personal, something that feels almost like friendship. So when a rumor suggests that a moment might not belong entirely to the public, it can create a subtle sense of distance. Not anger, not disappointment, but something quieter and more complex. A feeling of being slightly outside a story they thought they were part of. At the same time, my supporters of Liu Yuning found themselves drawn into the narrative without any clear reason. They pointed out the lack of evidence, the absence of direct connection, and the importance of not turning assumptions into conclusions. Their perspective added another layer to the discussion, one that emphasized fairness and balance, because while speculation can be engaging, it can also place unintended pressure on people who have done nothing to invite it. What makes this situation particularly compelling is how it reflects a broader pattern in digital culture. Today, audiences are not just consuming content, they are actively shaping it. Every comment, every theory, every shared post contributes to a larger narrative that evolves in real time. And in that process, the line between observation and creation becomes increasingly blurred. The story is no longer just about what happened, but about what people believe might have happened. It is important to pause here and return to what is actually known. There has been no verified confirmation that the image was sent privately to anyone. No credible source has provided evidence to support that claim. The entire narrative exists within the realm of interpretation. And while interpretation can be meaningful, it should not replace reality. Because when assumptions begin to feel like facts, the truth can easily become overshadowed. Still, it would be too simple to dismiss the situation entirely, because what we are witnessing is not just speculation, but emotion in motion. Fans projecting their hopes, their curiosity, even their fears onto a moment that feels significant to them. And that emotional energy is not inherently negative. In fact, it is part of what makes fandom communities so vibrant and alive. It allows people to connect, to share ideas, to feel involved in something larger than themselves. But like any powerful force, it requires balance. There's also something quietly human in the way this unfolded, a reminder that even public figures are allowed to have private moments, that not every smile carries a hidden meaning, and not every post is part of a larger narrative. Sometimes a photo is simply a photo, a reflection of a moment that was never intended to become a headline. And perhaps the most meaningful takeaway is not about whether the speculation is true or false, but about how quickly we are willing to believe it. In many ways, and this story reveals more about us than it does about the people involved. It highlights our tendency to search for meaning, to connect dots even when they may not exist, to turn coincidence into intention. And while that instinct can lead to creativity and engagement, it can also create misunderstandings that spread far beyond their original context. As the conversation continues, the most important thing to hold on to is perspective. Curiosity is natural. Discussion is inevitable, but conclusions require evidence, and without it, the narrative remains open, unfinished, and uncertain. And maybe that uncertainty is not something to resolve, but something to respect. So where does that leave us now? With a simple image that became something much larger, a reminder of how powerful collective imagination can be, and a quiet invitation to pause before turning possibility into certainty. Because sometimes the most meaningful way to support the people we admire is not by defining their stories, but by allowing them the space to exist without interpretation. If you found this story thought-provoking, if it made you reflect on how quickly narratives can form and evolve, then you are already part of a deeper conversation. Thank you for spending this time with us. And if you would like to explore more stories that go beyond the surface, stories that look at not just what happens but why it matters, consider subscribing to Update X 24 Hours. Your support helps us continue bringing thoughtful, balanced, and engaging content to you. Stay curious, stay aware, and we will see you in the next story.